Hi ladies, shalom. I am here today to talk to you about the most popular Tichels sold on the Wrapunzel website. Andrea asked me to make this video and I'm really excited to do it because there are just so many awesome products that I happen to know a lot about, so I may as well put that information to good use. One of the things though I'd like to say real quick is that when you buy a Tichel from Wrapunzel, you know that you're getting a tried and true product. One that is perfect for head covering. And, Andrea and the rest of the staff all go out of their way to make sure that that is the case. There's honesty in advertising. The details available about each scarf on the website are accurate, and they make points to mention things like, is this scarf perhaps a little sheer? So for women who cover their hair for religious reasons, that's important to know. Is this a scarf or a sash? Is it slippery and perhaps a little tricky to wrap? Maybe better for more experienced wrappers. All of those things you will find on the Wrapunzel website. Andrea has always been a trendsetter, and Sari Scarves, the first Sari scarf worn as a headscarf was done by Andrea, and so many of the other scarves in the Wrapunzel store have been that way too. So it's nice to, shop at the original source and get these really special, scarves, before anybody else, perhaps. Scarves that have changed the head wrapping world. And, Andrea also, one of the great things that I truly love about Wrapunzel is that she has always looked for ways to support the community. She used local seamstresses for all the volumizers. There's a seamstress in her hometown of Baltimore where all of the classic shapers, beret volumizers, and lace sashes are made. The ultimate shaper, the signature shaper, and the Wendy, the new, beret volumizer, those are all made in New York. Even all her distributors, she has personal relationships with them and their family. That's important, and looking for a business that gives back. Proceeds of all their profits go to charity. The Ronit, one of those scarves that I'll be discussing, 100% of the proceeds go to charity. That's just awesome and amazing, but I know I'm blabbering now, and everybody just wants to see fabulous scarves, so that is what I'm going to show you. And, when Andrea first asked me to make this video, I was like, thinking, what order do I go in? Where do I possibly begin? Because all of these scarves are incredible, but I knew, I thought about it a little bit, and I decided, Pashminas, ladies, I can't show you every scarf in my collection, but I did grab a handful of these to pull out. And, the solid Pashminas are so great. They truly are like the building blocks of any self-respecting Tichel collection, which is, I believe, what it says on the website, but it's true. Traditionally, Pashminas are made from wool, and at this point it's pretty much a catch-all phrase for everything that is shaped like a Pashmina, long and oblong, and woven. But here's what I have to say about the ones from Wrapunzel. They have the regular solid Pashminas are in these gorgeous, jewel tones and rich colors, and then there's now also the summer colors, which are kind of lighter. And regular Pashminas, sorry, they're all wrinkled, I'm hoping that you can see in the camera, that is the texture of a regular Pashmina. It's just a general woven pattern. These are perfect for cooler weather or chillier weather because they do keep you warm. They're nice and thick. Conversely, the summer ones, which I know I have a few of here, they have the same texture and the same weight. It's not a thinner weight. But what helps keep you cool in the summer is that they're lighter colors that reflect the sun. If you have a favorite color, it is probably available in a Pashmina. And honestly, see again, here's the summer one. Oh gosh. All my wrinkly Pashminas. Every woman should have a lot of these in her collection. Even if you wear some more warm, they can be really great. If the weather near you ever gets cold, if it's about to be winter like it is where I live, you definitely want to pick some of those up if you don't have them already. So, the next one I'm going to show you guys is another Pashmina called the Lakeshore Bliss. These are Lakeshore Blisses. Blisses? Is that how you pronounce it? Probably. The Lakeshore Bliss is probably my favorite pashmina to wear, and I know there are a lot of women who share my opinion. Unlike the regular solid and summer pashminas, these have a little bit of stretch and give. Here's the new teal one, by the way, which is just a gorgeous, gorgeous color. They all have this paisley pattern. And on the website, on the descriptions, you can see, the teal is listed, I believe, as teal and black, because the black threads are what makes the paisley pattern. Stretchy big. They're, I think, maybe a little bit lighter than the solid pashminas, but these are easy to wrap. Honestly, they wrap like a dream, and they're, just so many women love them, and for good reason. They come in a lot of great colors. The green, too, is another one that I know a lot of women find really special. I'm a green person. I love green, and it can sometimes be tricky finding a really nice green that isn't too dark, isn't too light, doesn't have too much yellow in it, perhaps, or blue. Lakeshore Bliss's ladies, incredible. I'll show you, by the way, just as long as I'm holding them up. Here's a regular solid pashmina. And then here's a Lakeshore Bliss. I'll put them side by side so you ladies can see the difference. I think that's showing up pretty quickly. So, solid pashmina, Lakeshore Bliss. Lovely ladies, my favorite. So, as long as I'm talking about that, oh yeah, Lakeshore Bliss, the soft pashminas. On the Wrapunzel website, you'll also find what are called soft pashminas. They're a little more stretchy than the regular solids. And what they really are, in case you don't know, is it's a Lakeshore Bliss. But instead of having two different colored threads, the green and the black, the soft pashminas are a solid color. So if this was a green soft pashmina, I don't have any here, I'm sorry, I did the best I could. It would have green threads and green threads. So what I mean by that is you'll still see, if you look closely, the wonderful texture and paisley pattern on the soft pashminas, but it's all one color and it's uniform. And it still has the nice little bit of stretch and give, so they're a little easier, to wrap compared to the normal ones, the regular solids. Gosh, ladies, I have a lot to cover here, so I'm trying my best. Excuse me. Moving on, shall we? Next up is one of my favorite scarves, Layers of Love. This is another pashmina that's pretty thick, and each scarf, see, look at that. Look at all of these different layers. It's like strips of color, and it's available in brown and blue and red and pink, I think. I believe there's about 6 different colors you can choose from. This scarf looks amazing tied on your head no matter how it is. And because of the different strips of different varying color patterns, it can appear as though you're wearing multiple scarves when really it's just one on your head. If you're, a pleating person, you can easily, pleat the scarf so that you've got, 2 different fabrics showing next to each other. And again, it looks like 2 different scarves. Such a great one. So many colors. Really, this is another favorite of so many women, and it's perfect. It perfectly belongs in the most popular website because truly, just amazing. But how could I possibly have a discussion about pashminas without mentioning the Wrapunzel signature scarf? Now this one is, I don't remember how many colors, but there's dark and light. There's ones with kind of the brown background threads like this, and there's ones with teal, pastel, rich colors. And look at this scarf, ladies. There is a reason this is called the Wrapunzel signature scarf, and I'm pretty sure it's because this scarf does it all. Another one that, because of the color variations, if you pleat with this, it pleats like a dream, first of all, and wraps so easily. It has a luxurious texture, and again, with the pleating, guys, you pleat with this, it looks like you're wearing 4 or 5 different scarves. Truly, if you were to just buy one pashmina, I think, for your collection, I would probably suggest the signature, because there are so many ways to get different looks out of it. Depending on what color you have by your face, it'll look like an entirely different scarf. You can have, mostly the purple by your face, or mostly the pink, mostly the blue. this scarf does so many things, and it's just such a wonderful, great, great, great addition to anybody's Tichel wardrobe. So, sorry, I've got this like whole thing with all these scarves here, and I have to like plan, you know, which one I want to talk about next. So, another basic building block of anybody's Tichel collection, 2-in-1s. Gosh, you guys are like getting a sneak peek into some of the Tichels I own. This is really funny. So, these ladies are 2-in-1s, and they come in pretty much any color under the sun. I can only think of 1 or 2 colors that 2-in-1s do not come in. And it's to the point, here I'll pull up the blues because this is a great example, where even one color will have different shades. So like, for example, here's the blues, and I don't even think this is every blue that's on the website. But I've got 4 different shades of blue, and there's still even more to choose from. Look at this, ladies. These are the scarves that are sold in those weird twists on the website. When you take them out of the package and unravel them, you are left with this wonderful, silky, very thin scarf. It is opaque though. Don't let this silkiness, or this, you know, this, I see that you can see me through it, but when you put it on your head, trust me, this is an opaque scarf. They cover your head completely. Because they're so thin, they're excellent in the summertime, perfect for layering. If you do zigzags or perhaps a waterfall twist, a lot of fancy ties that require numerous scarves, these work really well because they're so thin of them. You won't overheat as easily. They won't be as heavy on your head. They're just, oh gosh, so great, guys. I mean, I have a lot of these, and they're probably, honestly, my most worn scarf because they're so versatile and so much that you can do with them. But I do have to talk a little bit about the name. 2-in-1s, Andrea told me this story when it was like, I think she said the 2nd or the 3rd launch, you know, launch line for Wrapunzel, and her and Rivka Malka had found these, and they were like, you know, she's like, it was 3 in the morning, we're exhausted, but we're rushing to get these scarves named and online, and we're like, what do we call it? Is it a scarf or is it a sash? Oh, it's both. Why don't we call it a 2-in-1? It was later that they realized that the name was a little confusing, but by that point it had stuck. So that's the story of how a 2-in-1 became named as a 2-in-1. And what I was just mentioning is true. You can wear this either as a sash or to cover your full head. These are, again, just so super duper, ooper, blooper, versatile. They might be a little tricky, I think, for some to wrap at first, just because they're not slippery, but because they're so thin, you do have to be a little careful with them, just delicate in how you fold and wrap. But once you get the hang of it, it's easy as pie, and it's a good skill to have. Honestly, I think when I first started covering my hair, mastering 2-in-1s taught me so much about head wrapping in general, because I did choose to be so precise about it, so I had to really learn how to work with them. And by the way, I'm also wearing a 2-in-1 here around my neck. This is a teal one. So they make great headscarves. They're so light, you can even do it like in a little bit warmer weather as a neck scarf, and it's not even a problem. And here is the turquoise as well. Like I said, guys, I wear these a lot. But so recently, under the most popular, another scarf, another 2-in-1 entered that category. And these are the Ombre Sparkle 2-in-1s. Guys, these are really special. Again, because of the ombre thing with different colors, it can look like you're wearing more than one scarf on your head. These come in, I think, like 4 or 5 different shades. This one's my favorite, by the way. It has like a deep orange, kind of like a burnt orange. It goes into green, and then it ends up in teal. These are so great. And they have the kind of silver, shimmery, lurex, stripes. These are like just a little oomph up from a 2-in-1. Again, they're super light and thin, so they're easy for layering and can be used as a sash or as a scarf that will cover your whole head. Sorry, I'm trying to move on quickly because I know this is going to just be such a long video. Ombre Sparkle 2-in-1s. Okay, so I'll move on next to another super duper duper popular scarf, which is the New York Brights. This one is I know I keep saying this about these scarves, but they're truly favorites for a reason. This is another fan favorite. It comes in, I don't even know, like probably 12 or something colors, I'm guessing. It is perfectly, it doesn't really slip. They have this great texture. I'll pull one up to show you, but those are a lot of the other colors. They have this great, wonderful texture. And this one is a little transparent, by the way. This one you would legitimately, because it has like a large open weave. I think you can see it there pretty clearly. So if you are going to wear this by itself, you will want to wear an undercap or, you know, an underscarf. But this one, it's a little more on the narrower side. So if you really have like a whole lot of volume back there, it might not cover all of your hair from front of your hairline to the back. But that's easy remedied with, you know, an underscarf or even a headband in the front to put it a little farther back. They look great no matter how they're tied. I don't think I've ever seen a New York Brides look bad on somebody. It's like impossible. And despite the fact that they have this kind of large open weave, they are strong and sturdy, and you don't really have to be that delicate when you're wrapping them. I have never caused a run in one yet, and I can be a little rough with how I wrap my scarves. So many of these colors are really fabulous, but I want to mention the black and white one, because this was out of stock, I know, for a long time, and a lot of women really love this. This is like, you know, you would assume in looking at these maybe that they're a more casual scarf, but the black and white can really move you into nighttime. You know, if you have a special event or even black tie, you know, you can make this work. I've seen so many elegant things done with all of these New York Brides, but particularly the black and white. It's a personal favorite of mine, so I just wanted to point that out to you. Next up, we have, oh, why not? Okay, so over here, oh gosh, I have to get all these, and it's a lot. Sari Scarves, ladies. These are like, oh my gosh, so luxurious and special. Now, if you're not familiar with what a Sari Scarf is, I'm going to have to tell you. Andrea, back in the day in Chicago, well before the Wrapunzel store, was at a thrift store in Chicago on, I think, half-price days, she said it was. And what happened was she found this scarf. Not this particular one, this one's mine, but, you know, the story works better that way. Anyway, she found this scarf, and it was unlike anything she'd ever seen. It was sewn with all these strips of fabric. They all were different, and she's like, you know, it's a little narrow. It wouldn't, you know, cover my head completely, but, well, yeah, maybe it'll work, so I'll just buy it anyway. And I think that, you know, she took it home, and it was sitting in the back of her closet forever until she was finally brave enough to give it a shot. And once she did, oh my gosh, wow, whoa, wee, wah, these scarves are popular for a huge reason. When she wanted to open the store, she couldn't find them anywhere, and actually wound up having to get a personal seamstress to make these for her in India. Nobody was making these. She couldn't find them anywhere. So she found a seamstress that was willing to do this. And what the seamstress does is takes scraps from saris that are made at factories in India and then turns the scraps into these gorgeous, gorgeous scarves. So no two will ever be the same. In one scarf you might have, you know, these geometric prints and then a floral and maybe a paisley. You know, they're sold by color, kind of general color section. So, you know, here are some black ones. These were all sold under the black category, and none are ever the same. Here's, you know, a gorgeous orange, really fabulous orange, and a red. Greens, you know, again, my favorite color. Oh, greens. You can really see all the variations in these, and again, they're just so unique and so incredible. You know, I know the first time Andrea wore one, she said that she just kind of put it on her head and, you know, tied it in the back, and that was it. Now, there is a way that she figured out to get these to cover your full head, so even the back, so you can just wear a sari scarf. And common theme, ladies, When you put one of these on, it truly looks like you're wearing 8 scarves at once, because there's 8 strips of fabric. These are so special and unique. When you order them, by the way, from the Wrapunzel website, if you have any specific requests, like let's say you're ordering from the blue category, but you want it to have as most blue as possible, you know, as few other colors like this red, you know, as they can find. In the comments section at the end of your order, you can say, for your Sari, you know, please avoid red, or please no floral patterns, and the Wrapunzel staff will try their best to find you the perfect Tichel. If you get it and you're really not that thrilled, you're like, oh, you know, it's nice, but it's not for me, you can also exchange them, because they are one of a kind and you're sort of buying sight unseen, because they can't list every single one on their website. They're willing to work with you on that, which is something really special. So, and to go along with the full-size Sari Scarves, there's also Sari Sashes, guys. Oh, the sashes are so great too. They're much, much, much easier to wrap than the full-size Sari because they're so much smaller. And they can be used as a sash, or with an underscarf. You can even wrap them around your head, you know, twice, and then it looks like you're pretty much just wearing one Sari scarf. All the qualities I was just telling you about the full sizes apply to these. Different color categories, no two are ever the same, just really, really special scarves. If you're new to wrapping and you'd really like a Sari scarf but you're intimidated by the big ones, the sashes are a perfect way to go, because these are just so easy to wrap. And they're long enough to even do tails with. I've done sheer tails with these numerous times to have a tail on each side. These are amazing. So, so, so great. Okay, what's next, ladies? How about some Israeli Tichels? All right. So, now I have a story for you. The very first time that I met Andrea in person, I think one of the first things I said to her was, Andrea, about the Israeli Tichels, and I think she kind of got like a nervous look on her face, like, you know, what about them? And I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, because there are truly nothing like these. So if you're not familiar with, oh, no, I can't show you those. If you're not familiar with an Israeli Tichel, these are them. They come in a lot of different colors. I think like maybe even 20 colors. And they are a big square. I see, look at this. It won't even fit on the screen. But these are... Okay, guys, I got cut out, but I will now continue. So the Israeli scarves are a really big square. Won't even fit on the screen. And they come with either silver lyric strands or the gold lyric strands. And I believe this one is called green with gold, and this one is sky blue, something of the sort. Israeli Tichels are called so because they've been so popular in Israel for so long. Typically, because they're a big square, you would just fold them into a triangle shape and then, you know, kind of wrap them around, tie in the back, easy peasy and done. You can do that with these, or you can even fold them into a long shape and use them as a sash. Because they're so thin and relatively cheap, they're perfect for, like, as a workout tichel. If you're a runner or you get real sweaty working out, these are really great and nice. You're not going to ruin your big fancy scarf that way. A lot of women even go swimming in these, by the way, with just a velvet headband and report no problems. I do have to say, though, it is worth buying these from Wrapunzel, and the reason is this. You will only find these specific Israeli Tichels through Wrapunzel. They are not available anywhere else. They even have a Wrapunzel tag in them. I'm trying to find one with a tag for you. So, look at that. Fancy schmancy, guys. It's not worth saving $1 or $2 and getting these elsewhere. When you do so, what you're going to wind up with is one of these. Now, these I've had for a very long time, since before I knew better. They are so thin. Look at this. They're paper thin. Okay? They fray easily. They tear easily. You can practically, I mean, oh my gosh. Okay. I don't even know if you can see. Look at that. My thumb, just holding this up, went right through the scarf. Okay? They're cheap for a reason. Would you rather have this, or, you know, even they have ones with fringe, and look at that. The lurex comes out in frays. The ends with the fringe wind up looking like a mess. They last 6 seconds, okay? The thick ones from Wrapunzel, alright, are 100% cotton and totally worth it. You're not going to have any mishaps with putting your thumb through like I just did. And these ones will actually last. They're just special and really great. Highest quality for the lowest price. I'm just going to be honest with you. You know, and again, you can't find them anywhere else. It's not worth saving $1, guys. Those are the way to go. So I'm getting to the end now. I only have a few more scarves, and the next one I'm going to show you is actually a newcomer to Wrapunzel, and these are the Dewdrop Sparkle. They have, I'm hoping you can see, they have sequins on them, like this, but the sequins are actually woven in, and they don't fall off. This is not a fragile scarf. The Dewdrop Sparkle is thin. You can layer with it, and the other side seems to have them, but not quite as sparkly as the other. They're thin, you can layer, they're a little thicker than a 2-in-1, and they are woven, but because of those fabulous sequins, this can look dressed up and fancy in just 6 seconds. Another one that no matter how it is wrapped on your head is going to just look amazing. I do want to mention this specific color though. When Andrea was first telling me about these scarves, she said, "Now Rachel, I know you're not a pink person, but hear me out on this. I think you're going to really like it." And I, you know, was very polite and was expecting to not like it at all because I'm not a pink person. However, when I saw it, I thought to myself, oh wow, she was right. I believe it's called magenta on the website, and it is a really special pink color. It really does have enough kind of purple undertones to it that it's not bright, you know, pink or you know, fuchsia-y. It's not light or pale. It's a beautiful, rich color, and I just happen to think this one is really special. All of the Dewdrop Sparkles come, by the way, in rich colors like this, but I think there's also a couple neutrals and black and gray. Really special scarf, easy to jazz up. And now we're getting close to the end, guys. I'm going to show you the Shimmeries next. Shimmeries are luxurious and great. The story behind these is that when Andrea was living in Chicago, another Chicago story, she found one of these, a gold one, in a store, and it quickly became one of her favorite scarves for many reasons. They are kind of a net mesh material, so you would have to wear an underscarf if you're, you know, trying to cover all of your hair. But they're just, again, it's glittery, but it's strands woven into the glitter, so you don't have to worry about glitter falling off or anything on your clothing. Easy to layer and look great, but the really special thing about these is the fringe. I've not seen other scarves with tassels like these. When you tie it on your head and wear this as a tail, you're left with what looks and feels like hair. So if you're a woman who misses maybe having the look of hair or feeling the hair on your shoulders, just, you know, like that, these are a really, really easy way to get that feeling. They're so special and so great. Again, so many colors, and you know, one question that I hear in the Wrapunzel fan group all the time is, I have a formal event to go to, black tie, or I just need to look great for Shabbos or something. What is a tichel that I can do that with? 9 times out of 10, Shimmery is what's suggested. These are just such a special scarf, and all of the colors are really, really great. If you're somebody who isn't really a bright color person, there's also white, I believe, in these too. But the pewter, which is this one, and then the black with silver threads. Look at that. So spectacular. Combining these two together, by the way, is something I really enjoy doing. Really, really, really nice. And so, the last tichel I have to show you guys from the most popular category are these, which are the Shiny-liscious. Okay, so they're very similar to the Shimmery in that, you know, they're long, and they have, you know, the gorgeous sheen throughout all of them. However, here I'll pick out two that I have the same color of. Unlike the Shimmery, these are opaque. So, Shiny-liscious over here, Shimmery over here. They're both sparkly and amazing, but this one you cannot see through at all. That's the Shiny-liscious, sorry. Shiny-liscious you can't see through at all. Shimmery is the mesh net. Okay? Each one are incredible. The Shiny-liscious has just the regular knotted tassel tails, but one of the things I love about this scarf is that one side has like the ultra sheen. That's all, again, sewn in, so none of this glitter stuff is going to fall off on you. Those are threads of the scarf. But the other side is slightly less sheen and a little smoother. So it's kind of like having two scarves in one. And the side that does have more glitter on it, it actually has a rough texture, not like sandpaper at all, but it's just a little bit of texture that you can feel, which gives it more gripping power when it's on your head. When you wrap it, it almost acts like a velvet headband, preventing whatever's above or beneath it to shift around. So something that's really great. And by the way, this is the new green that the Shiny-liscious comes in. Really wonderful color. You know I'm a green person. One of my favorites. Again, many colors, but I think there is a little less variety in this one than the Shimmery. I'm not positive, but I believe so. Silver, red, brown, fabulousness. Okay guys, so that is it for the most popular Tichels on the Wrapunzel website. If you're new to Wrapunzel World or new to the Wrapunzel store and want to buy some new scarves or maybe one special one, any of these are really going to work for you. They're all pretty much easy to wrap. Even the Sari scarf and the 2-in-1s that have a little bit of a learning curve, it's not much of anything. And if you stick with them and practice and learn the methods that you use to tie them, that will affect the rest of your scarf tying, even with other scarves, and make you a Tichelista, a master wrapper in no time at all. So, great guys, that's it. I'm going to cut myself off now. Bye-bye.